Welcome to the Zaleski Sports Show. I'm your host, Jason Zaleski, along with Dan Ross, and we are here today to talk to you about volleyball championships, football championships, and something new.
It's all yours, and it's all now.
All right, back. We are back, baby. It's been a couple of days since we've done a show, and not for lack of trying. Mainly my fault. I'll take the full blame for it here, Dan. But time. I mean, they say every minute matters, right? And sometimes minutes are taken up. But we're back, and our plan is to get this ship going full steam ahead now, forever and ever. That's the plan.
I like it. I like it. There has been a lot of talk about shows.
Yeah,
Anybody can talk about the show.
that's right.
Keeping the reservation for the show is a different thing altogether.
Well, people are watching this on Tuesday. There was already one delay prior to filming when this was all put together. So yeah, there is a difference between taking the reservation and keeping the reservation. No doubt
True.
about that. So, all right, Dan, well, let's start with some volleyball championships. We had a boys champion crowned last weekend, and it was Middleton over Germantown. So the Cardinals were our state champions, 2025 boys volleyball. I would imagine they were also the American Legion baseball state champions, not school affiliated, although they were still called the Middleton Cardinals. I'd imagine maybe one or two of those boys with the kill and getting the sets and all that. So congratulations, Cardinals.
How
On
far
the,
are we away from having more boys volleyball in the area?
I think we're still a ways.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we're still a ways. This is in the state of Wisconsin terms, this is a southern sport. We'll see. There are some Fox Valley teams. I sit outside of Marshfield. Dan is in the proud city of Wausau. We're both Marathon County residents, as a matter of fact.
Sure.
Yeah, a Marathon County boys volleyball team. It's a ways out. Yeah,
Fair.
it's a ways out. Okay, the girls though are playing or are in this area, right? Girls, that's a statewide phenomena in volleyball, even in Marathon County, as it is. And we'll
I
start.
watched some of it.
You did? Okay, well,
Yeah.
fill us in. What did you see?
Yeah. So I watched the Division 5 championship
Okay.
between the Rib Lake and Newman Catholic Cardinals.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get to them. And
Okay.
as we do, we'll start at the top as it is in Division One. And an upset. I mean, I don't know if there were any other, upsets. And of course, the teams that lost may have thought they were upset. But this was an actual upset. Hamilton beating Divine Savior Holy Angels. The Dashers had run girls volleyball for the last number of years, and they were run out of the Rush Center on Saturday, Dan. Hamilton straight sets, 3-0 sweep over the Dashers.
Yeah, I thought that it was a misprint because I didn't watch it. I just looked at the results on the website later that night because of that. Like, oh yeah, how much did Divine Savior win by? And I was like, wow, wait a minute, that doesn't seem right.
Yeah, it went extras 28-26 in the first set, but then 25-20, 25-22. The Chargers charged to the top of Division One. They are state champions. In Division Two, it was Grafton. I'm sorry, Grafton falling to Sauk Prairie. So Sauk Prairie is your Division Two champion. Grafton had beat Wapaka the day before. The Wapaka Comets going to state, their first ever state appearance, and a great season for the Comets.
Yeah, their volleyball program is really hitting its stride. They are always in sectionals now, sectional, semi, sectional finals. Yeah, so it's nice to see them break through.
Yep, and we had fun watching the Comets, and it was a good time. In Division Three, Manitowoc Lutheran over Watertown Prep. In Division Four, Heritage Christian beat Regis in four. And in Division 5, Dan had mentioned this. I don't suppose you have a Merriwood minute, so we'll take a minute to talk about what essentially was a Merriwood Conference championship game, but this time at the state level between Rib Lake and Newman Catholic. And it was Rib Lake in four over Newman, and Rib Lake with their first ever girls of any girls sport, a state championship.
Yeah, great for them. Newman led a lot of that fourth set, and they I believe they're up 23-22 late, and Rib Lake rolled off three straight, mostly on errors. And we've talked about this a little bit on the show before, especially in small school girls volleyball. If you get the ball over the net, you are in pretty good shape, right? Because especially with the pressure and everything else, even great girls, great teams, sometimes you just hit the ball into the net or you hit it service that's just a little bit long, and we've all played volleyball before casually for the most part or in tournament setting, and you someone makes a mistake and that compounds pretty quick, right? Momentum is a real thing in volleyball.
Yeah, it is momentum. Once the dominoes start to tumble one way or the other in any level, sure, I've played at a bar league or
Yep.
something else, but it's no different there. Once the dominoes start to tumble in the sport of volleyball, it happens quick.
Yeah, it really does. So yeah,
Um,
River Lake came back from 23-22 down. They won 25-23, I believe.
Yeah, Newman won the first set.
Yeah.
If I'm reading this correctly, if I'm not, guess what? Highlights are on Facebook, on Zaleski Sports, and on this YouTube channel. You just go watch the highlights. We had the whole highlight package there. Mike Wendlandt spent 3 days at the Ref Center. He's got all the volleyball you could ever want in a lifetime. He did in 3 days, and he brought those highlights to you, and they are again available right now.
Yeah, and we don't cheer for anybody in the playoffs, right? I'm usually cheering for a good game because if I'm going to be taking in a contest, I would rather see something close, for the drama piece of it than a blowout. But there is something nice about seeing a school win their first championship, right? Because those girls are going to be remembered forever.
Forever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So way to go, Red Lake Redmond, state champions in Division 5. All right.
Yeah.
Moving on to football, a state champion will be crowned on Saturday in Wisconsin Rapids. Game kicks off at 1 p.m. You can buy tickets at the gate. You just roll on up. You buy your ticket, you head in, and you watch eight-player state championship football on Saturday. If you can't make it, we will have a live audio call right here on this YouTube channel on Zaleski Sports. Joe Anderson on the call. So let's talk about the teams here just a bit, Dan, and how they got there. I go back to Halloween night. It was a spooky time, especially in eight-player football. And we had the one seed, Alina St. Thomas Aquinas, beat Wabino Leona 38-14. And then we had a bit of an upset, I suppose, right? The two seed, McDonald Central Max, that's another word for a bulldog, a Mac,
Yeah.
took on the number one seed Flambeau. And Flambeau wasn't just the one seed, they were the number one in that bracket. And they were defeated. McDonald Central with the win, Dan, 66-30. Woo!
It sounds like an eight-player score.
Yeah, that's a monster score. And the following week, Dan, the Macs weren't done yet. They took Carolina, St. Thomas Aquinas, 64-29. So back-to-back weeks, McDonald goes into the state championship week with 60 plus on the scoreboard.
Yeah, and if you didn't know their opponents, you would think that they're not even going to get tested in the state finals, but not
Haha.
so fast, my friend.
Not so fast, Coach Corso. Not so fast. We'll talk about that now. On the other side, number one seed Oakfield. The Oakfield Oaks shut out Sevastopol 38 nothing to get to the semifinal last week Friday. And then Gilman, this is the team everybody's talking about. The Gilman Pirates took down North Crawford 36 nothing. So a pair of shutouts in that semifinal game. So you figure, okay, well, yeah, good defense. We'll have a low scoring game. Yeah, relatively so. As Gilman
Yeah.
advanced to the championship game, they beat Oakfield 30-12. So again, we had 90 combined points on one side and 42 in the other. So you got Gilman, who's been in a defensive posture the last 2 weeks, and McDonald's just racing up and down the field. They go at it Saturday in Wisconsin Rapids again, kickoff at 1 p.m.
Yeah, I would strongly encourage people to come out. I hear it's going to be pretty nice weather Friday and Saturday. Fingers
50s,
crossed. I heard maybe close to 60 on Friday.
even better.
Yeah. Yeah. If 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 you're sitting at home watching this, thank you for watching. But if you have not seen an eight-man football game, you're in for a treat. It is really exciting. Some of the games can be quite long as teams are scoring 60, 50, 40 points, but lots of skill on the small field, and it is a little bit of a different game, but it's football.
It's still football, right? We're still
Yeah,
handing off. We're blocking, tackling, throwing, running, touchdowns. All the points are the same. Everything's the same, just on a skinnier field.
yeah.
But not much. And if some places you go to, if somebody didn't tell you, you may not even have realized. So, yeah, go watch it again. We'll have the audio broadcast on Saturday, 1 p.m. pregame show at 12:45 with Joe Anderson on the call. We'll also have highlights of that game made later on Saturday night. So state champion, it'll be either McDonald Central or Gilman. The other interesting fact about that game is for McDonald Central, it's their last, for a while anyway, it's their last game in eight-player football. They have exceeded the enrollment number for the last couple of years, which has made them playoff ineligible going forward. So rather than sitting out of playoffs, McDonald will move to 11-player next year. So it's their last hurrah, and they again they've scored over 120 combined points the last 2 weeks. They're making the most of it.
Yeah, Gilman's a really good team though. And Gilman is always in the running for this year over year. A really good program. That'd be a good game.
Yep, Owen Withy were the state champions last year, just down the road from Gilman. So the Gilman Pirates, McDonald Central Max. Moving to 11-player football, we are down to the final four in each of the seven divisions. And so I'm starting this talk in Division One, and we've got Wanakee and Arrowhead. They play at Madison Memorial. All kickoff times Friday are 7 p.m. unless I say otherwise. Wanakee. So we talk about McDonald going from 8-player this year to 11-player next year. Wanakee went from Division Two to Division One. They're the one seed, and the Wanakee Warriors just don't care. They just keep going.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's
Mus- Go ahead.
yeah. I mean, we've talked quite a bit. The difference between Division One and Division Two in football, especially, really not that big a deal. And a lot of in basketball, boys basketball, the same way. That a lot of years the Division Two champ would probably beat the Division One champ if they had to play each other.
True enough.
So yeah,
Yeah, a little known fact though, if Wanakee were to win the state championship this year, they move to the WIAC next year,
yeah.
where they may win that too. All right, that's a joke. They do not move to the WIAC.
Performance
Some
factor
people are like,
doesn't help
"Oh,
in
Zaleski said they're
college.
moving to the WIAC."
Yeah,
It's a joke, but they may beat some of those teams. I'm not joking about that.
yeah.
Okay, on the other side, Muskego and Bayport. The one seed Muskego, the three seed Bayport. They play at UW Oshkosh on Friday night. So that's your Division One slate.
Bayport, defending champ, I believe.
Yes, it is true.
Yeah.
Yep.
So they're tough out, and they crushed Franklin. Franklin was undefeated.
The Sabres were looking pretty good
Yeah.
until
So
that
yeah,
night.
that's gonna be a
Until
good
that
game.
one night. In Division Two, it's River Falls and Notre Dame. They play at DC Everest. We had River Falls on the network on Friday night, where they beat Mike Wendland's Oshkosh Spartans. So Oshkosh bows out of the playoffs. River Falls beat them 52 to 38. It was a big offensive scoring onslaught, and we thought it would be in that game, but River Falls looks pretty tough right now.
Yeah, they're scoring a lot of points. They're 40, 50. Just mark them down now.
Mark it down, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
and you're exactly right. 48, 50, 52 thus far. So they're averaging 50 on the nose.
Yeah.
All right. On the other side, a lot of people have been talking about the Phantoms all year. Those are the West Pier Phantoms. They will take on Homestead in Neenah. And West Pier has also been a force to be reckoned with all season long.
Yeah, they put up like a 70 spot or something in the first round, I remember. I might be completely wrong on that, but I remember 70 for them and just that's crazy.
In Division Three, Grafton. So we had the girls volleyball team win or go to state. So Grafton, one game away from state. The boys football team is where they will take on Catholic Memorial, and they'll play that game in Oconomowoc. 7 O's, right, in Oconomowoc? Something
I
like
don't
that.
know. I don't know what they are.
One, two, three, four, 5 O's. 5 O's in Oconomowoc. Yeah, all right. But here's the other side of it, which is what there's a lot of buzz going on the other side of it. The four seed, so those are both one seeds on that side. On the other side, four seed Reedsburg, and those, of course, are the Reedsburg Wilsons that are playing in that game. And then the eight seed Whitefish Bay Blue Dukes. The eight seed, Dan, they're still going.
No eight seeds ever made the state finals. There has been one or two that have made the state semifinals, but nobody's ever made it to Madison as the eight seed. So this could be it.
Well, the
This could
Blue
very
Dukes
well
have
be
a
it.
lot, have things. We talked about dominoes falling earlier. And the Blue Dukes have had dominoes fall, and they've fell. Now they waited. They were at Port Washington 2 weeks ago. They waited until 2 seconds left on the clock to score the winning touchdown, but it was no problem against Martin Luther 28-7. They had Martin Luther dissolved pretty quickly. No dominoes really needed there, except on their side of it. And I would say, Dan, I've seen the Blue Dukes play a couple times this year. We had them on the network earlier in the year. Um, why not? They got to be saying, why not us? Why not the eight seed?
Yeah, and they crushed the one seed in the first round. And I don't know that much about those schools, right? Because you're talking about Southeast Wisconsin Division III football. Like I'm not the expert on it. But generally when you have a 1-8 game and the eight seed wins 30, was it 31-7?
As you're talking, to go back and look.
Yeah. That's not a close game. So Whitefish Bay, maybe they felt underrepresented. Maybe they had some guys that were hurt and they came back at the end of the year and they're playing real well. It doesn't matter what happened. What matters is that they're one of the last four teams still playing in Division III.
Dan, you're exactly right. 31-7 over New Berlin West. Insiders at Whitefish Bay told me that they felt that the New Berlin West conference wasn't very good. And that was a case perhaps where West ran up the score
Yeah,
in their conference, and they thought that conference wasn't very good. Whitefish Bay thought they were going to win that game going in, and they certainly did, as you said, 31-7.
yeah.
So why not us? That is likely what the Dukes are saying right now. In Division Four, here we go. Columbus, the Columbus Cardinals taking on Little Chute. That's the one versus the two, and they will play that game in Kewaskum. I challenge anybody outside of Wisconsin to know where Kewaskum is.
I don't know where it is. I've heard of it. I don't know where it's at though.
In a game that is live right here on Zaleski Sports, Friday at 7 o'clock, Baldwin Woodville taking on Winneconne. Winneconne's been on a tear all year long, Dan. They beat Freedom 31-55. They beat Altoona 28-6. And then to start it all off, they beat Milwaukee Lifelong Learning 71-0. Winneconne, I'm on them.
Yeah. On the other side, did we talk about the other side already?
Columbus, or yeah, Columbus and Little Chute. Go ahead. What else do you know?
Well, Columbus is a real good team, and we probably have a lot of Mosinee fans that after we saw them dispose of Evansville,
We
right?
did.
In Mosinee the week before, thought that maybe they'd have a chance to try to get to a level four or state semifinal as it's called now. No, just different kind of football.
Yep. Columbus, solid, just solid all the way around. As they say, a three phases team, the Columbus
Yeah.
Cardinals. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say Winneconne Columbus probably strong favorites in their games, but who knows?
Again, that Winneconne tilt live right here Friday, 7 o'clock on Zaleski Sports. As it stands right now, Mike Wendland on the call on Friday. All right, in Division 5, in Slinger, it's Mayville and Lake Country Lutheran. Mayville took down Amherst 26-21 in what I'm told was a controversy-riddled game.
Hmm.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to see it. That's just what I'm being told. But Dan, what they say is the calls go both ways. And I know what I heard from the Amherst insiders was even without that or with that, they had all the chances in the world. But give it up to Mayville. They continue on, and again, they will play Lake Country Lutheran in Slinger on Friday night. On the other side of the bracket, a game that we have right here on Zaleski Sports. And again, as the schedule stands right now, this is the game that Dan Ross and I will be at. We go to Chippewa Falls and we will have a look at Northwestern and Stratford. The Stratford Tigers, Dan, were about 2 minutes away from starting the season 1-3. And
Yeah.
here they are in a state semifinal game on Friday night.
I just laugh because Stratford Northwestern, they know each other, right? They have played several times, and Heart of North, not that friendly with Zaleski sports, I would say.
I
Um,
think that's worn off though. I think
oh,
I'll
okay,
find
good,
out, I guess,
good,
Friday
good,
night.
good.
Yeah.
Stratford's playing really well,
Yeah.
and like you mentioned, they started 0 and 2, correct? And
Yeah.
then they won, and then they were almost 1 and 3, and they
They were
came
on the
back.
ropes in that fourth week. They were on the ropes, man.
Yeah,
And 1 of 3, we may not we don't know because it didn't happen, but we could have been talking about a Stratford-less playoffs if they start 1 and 3.
yeah, and credit to the coaching staff. Sometimes it takes a little bit to get going and really put your stamp on the program, even though he's been there for a long time.
Not
Um,
Marshall Lehman, new head coach, but
yeah,
existing coach for many years, right?
yeah, and they're absolutely rolling. Northwestern's really good this year, though. This isn't a game that in the past when Stratford and Northwestern have played in level two or level three, where you kind of thought Stratford, even if they had to make the long trip, that they'd probably win by a couple touchdowns. This is going to be a really good game. I'm glad this is the one that we're going to. Um, there's not a lot of blowouts in level four, but um, Stratford has they do have the been there, done that with different guys, some of the same kids. But yeah, it's gonna be a good one.
Dan was wafting the essence of the 2019 matchup between Stratford and Northwestern, Dan, where yeah, it wasn't that close. Now, Stratford boasted 3 Division I football player recruits on that team. One of the reasons that it wasn't that close. This one, I agree, on paper, looks to be much closer. Stratford beat Richland Center in level one, 41-9. They beat Prairie du Chien 28-21. And then absolutely took care of Tomahawk 29-0 last week. So they've got everything pointed the right way.
Yeah, and not that surprising. And I know you talked to Mayville and Lake Country Lutheran. I believe that the year that must have been 2019 that Stratford beat Northwestern, I think Lake Country Lutheran beat Stratford in Madison that year.
You are something else, Dan. Yeah,
Yeah, because
yeah,
that was the year that Stratford had the shutout streak and they
right.
lost it at Northwestern.
Well, they actually lost the shutout streak playing Amherst the next week in a level 4 game.
Okay,
Amherst
okay.
scored a touchdown. That Stratford people will still tell you that the ball was caught out of bounds in the end zone and should not have counted. Stratford people will tell you that. I'm not telling you that.
Yeah, yeah.
It was ruled a touchdown on the field, so it's forever a touchdown.
Yeah, so at least these schools are somewhat familiar with each other. I think it's interesting that it's Division 5 now because I think that was all Division 6 back then, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't remember.
Yeah, well, it was Division 5. They've floated
Okay.
because of Stratford's 3 straight state championships. They've been pushed back into Division 5. Yeah, there are brothers, right? From 2019 to 2025, there are brothers that are on the team now that had older brothers that played in that game, and they have been coached about the other team for sure.
Yeah, I mean Stratford's won three straight. It's going to take a lot to beat them. It really is.
They're the bully, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of bullies in Division 6, we'll talk about this a little bit now, and then we can really sink into it because you and I were at the game last week. In Stanley Boyd, Mondovi, the 2 seed, beat the 1 seed Regis 35-28 in an absolute wacky back and forth game over at Carson Park in Eau Claire. But the Ramblers are no more in 2025, and they will face Edgar, 8-7 winners over Bonduel. Again, we'll come back to that one. On the other side, Darlington and Manitowoc Lutheran play at Waukesha West. Darlington in a state championship game uh, last year or 2 years ago. Stratford beat Darlington. I have trouble keeping all the teams that Stratford has beat in a state championship.
Yeah, Stratford beat Darlington. I think we were down in Madison that
Was it last year? Okay, they very well could have been.
was
There's so
was that the
many.
game where the kicker made the field goal to win? That might
Yeah,
have been.
they've beat Mondovi, they've beat Darlington. Damn,
Yeah,
I can't keep them straight.
yeah.
And I'm talking like the last 20 years, all of them, and they all are jumbled up in my brain. Doesn't matter though this year. Darlington, Manitowoc, Lutheran on the other side. Edgar 8-7. So you and I had the pleasure of being involved on the broadcast
Yeah.
in 2 Bonduel games this year. We thought it was going to be a bit of a nip and tuck game. We just didn't think it'd be a 1-pointer on Friday night.
No, and we were obviously there. We watched Edgar get down to the 1 yard line right before the half, and then they had the procedure penalty. Yep, and then missed the field goal, left, wide left, and Bondwell came out of the locker room and marched right down the field on Edgar, and then Edgar had a punt, and you kind of felt like this was it, right? Like Bondwell's rolling, and I was standing on the sideline with them, right? And like they were like they came in, they were very businesslike. They went down the field, they scored, kicked the extra point, and really felt like they were going to cruise in the second half. But no, didn't happen.
No, they were stymied thereafter. Edgar scored what at the end of the third quarter?
Yeah,
Yeah, end of the third quarter they scored, and Edgar goes for two after every touchdown. Now this was extra.
first touchdown. The first touchdown.
What did I say?
You said every touchdown.
Oh yeah, sorry, the first touchdown. Well, they
Yeah.
they they may as well go for two every touchdown. They, yeah, right. Every first touchdown, they go for two. This has been a thing for a long time. Edgar Wildcats football. This though was extra suspenseful because the right play would have been to kick the extra point, but they just do. Coach Jerry Sins just does what he does, and this is just the way we do it around here. We're going for two. All right. So they go for two. We've got a wide open receiver in the right corner of the end zone. Quarterback sees him. I'm sure he sees him because that's where I was standing. He tucks it and runs and runs it in and just a squirrely run into the end zone, 8-7. And that turned out to be the final score.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good thing they didn't kick the extra point. They might still be playing that game
It
because
was a real stalemate, right?
it really was. After that Bonduel touchdown, they must have maybe had one or two first downs the rest of the game. And Edgar really struggled. I mean, both teams, we didn't have a first down in the first quarter, I don't think. Right? I mean, it
We
was
did
it was
not.
a defensive game. Edgar really fortunate to come away because they beat a really good Bonduel team. And we talked on the broadcast. You guys can go back and watch it on YouTube, right? It was put together really well. And talking to the Bonduel coach ahead of the game, he even said that the team was ready. It's Edgar. Yeah, you have to get up for it, but you don't have to because it's a level 3 game. But Edgar and Stratford, they just find a way, right? And it's almost uncanny the way that both of these teams, they don't blow everybody out, right? Maybe in the past years that's been the case. And and we've talked a little bit to ourselves, not really on the air, of can Edgar score the ball when they have to, right? And that's kind of been the Edgar thing for years. It's not just this year or last year. Edgar skill players, they don't have a lot of wide receivers. They don't have tall guys that go across the middle and a quarterback that throws it to them, right? It's four clouds and a cloud of dust and one of the many but running backs that break away,
Yeah.
right? And that's Edgar football, and it works. Um, they're going to be a tough out. They got a tough game though.
It is a tough game. Yeah, between Edgar Stratford, last 3 years, five state championships. It's something else. The towns are separated by about 14 miles.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild stuff happening in Marathon County, by the way.
Yep.
Probably the best place to live in Wisconsin is in Marathon County for a number of reasons.
Feels that way.
Yeah, I mean, the two of us live here and everything else going on in the county. Um, Tom King on the call, kickoff again, 7 o'clock. So those are the three live games that we have for you on Friday night. And then in Division 7, at Wisconsin Rapids, Lincoln. Now they're going to play back-to-back football games. Actually, they're going to play two football games there in a matter of about 15 hours. Now it's a turf field. It didn't
Yeah.
used to be. It was grass, but now it's turf, so it should be fine. Cochrane Fountain City and Lord's Academy. CFC has been on a rampage all year long.
Yeah, they have a lot of good athletes. They're also predicted to win. I think they're Mark Miller's picked to win basketball also
Yep,
this year.
I saw that too. Yeah, so
Yeah.
they got things
Well,
cooking.
it's the same athletes. I mean,
Yep,
it's Division 7 football, Division 5
200 kids
basketball.
in the school.
It's
Yeah,
the
it's
same
all the
kids.
same.
Yeah.
Over in Stoughton, you got Potosi Cassville and Kenosha St. Joe's. So that's your Division 7 lineup on Friday night. And again, it all culminates into Camp Randall on the 20th and 21st. That's next week, Thursday and Friday. Zaleski Sports will broadcast all 8 state championship football games. And again, that starts on Saturday with 8 player, all 7 11 player next week, Thursday and Friday. Go big or go home. That's what they say. If you're not first, you're last.
I like it. I know we only have a couple minutes left, but we have a
We're okay.
season starting today.
Well, we said at the top, right? Something new. Well, here's
Yeah.
something new. Girls basketball is underway. They are practicing. They've got to get their 5 or 6 practice days before they can start playing. The first girls basketball games in the state happen on November 18th. So that is on Tuesday next week, and every season is a brand new start. Some of these girls just got done playing volleyball. Some are state champs, and most were not. But the new thing is now we get to play basketball.
Yeah, when we coached over at Newman Catholic, the first week of practice, we didn't have half the team, right? Because we gave them a couple of days off because they were just in the state volleyball tournament on Saturday, right? And having them come back Saturday night, win or lose at the state tournament, and then have to go to practice Monday with Jason Bannon Elson making them run up and down the floor and making them wash the floor with towels and
Tough
stuff.
guy, tough guy.
Tough guy. Yeah, so these schools that have volleyball players that just played, you're not going to get a lot out of them until a couple practices in.
What you do get out of them, though, Dan, is a championship mentality.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
you want those girls on your team. Yeah, so girls basketball, there will be some fancier stuff that gets released on social media. We're talking about basketball. We did put to bed our Hard Knocks football shows. We had Cadott and Augusta in the western side, and then St. Mary Catholic on the eastern side. Again, thanks to those schools for letting us into your locker room, letting us into your coaches' meetings, letting us in anywhere we dang well please to go, by the way.
It's so cool. Yeah.
Well, the schools are forever grateful. We're forever grateful. I mean, it's one of those things, Dan, where everybody wins, right? I mean, we had a good experience. The school got so much out of it. Those players and their families have lifetime memories that they can watch back anytime. The towns, the communities, everything. Everybody wins. Everybody wins in this the whole thing. I think that
Everybody's so sad when it's over, right? Like, can we do this next year? We'd love to do it again next year. And like, no, we got to spread the wealth.
yeah, we had a school recently ask, can we just do it every year? And yeah, well, as much fun as that you may think that is, unfortunately, yeah, we do need to share it with others. And so, as something new, basketball season is just here for the girls. Boys practice starts next week. We will announce. So we've announced this on a broadcast before, but again, there'll be fancier things on social media that will really grab people's attention. But for the 5 or 6 people that watch the show, here we go. Your all access teams on Zaleski Sports for 2025-26 are the Fall Creek Crickets and the Neenah Rockets.
I like it. I have something controversial to say about basketball this year.
Let's go.
All right. There's been a lot of talk about where are we going to go for stats and standings
Mm,
because with sports is no longer with us,
yeah.
right?
May they rest in peace. Right.
Yeah. And big fan of it. Big fan of what Travis Wilson has done with that. Follow him over to Bound. It's a great website. Um, Travis is not paying me to say this, but I've been looking a lot at this and it's put together really well. In some ways, it's better than with sports. And I think they're going to try to have stats there as well. But if you're looking for schedules, all the schedules are already uploaded. They are ready to go. Go over there, Bond, Wisconsin. It's a real good site.
Travis not paying you to say this. Travis doesn't pay for anything. He's a cheapskate. Hey, Trav, I'll see you next week at State Football. Yeah, it's a transition period in Wisconsin high school sports for statistics and things like that. Um, yeah, we could probably do a show on it, so maybe we'll leave it as that. But there are a lot of people wondering what to do. Things are a little more clear on the boys basketball side. Things are murky and muddy on the girls basketball side about those things. Likely be a statistical desert out there in many places. Um, and we'll do the best that we can to help you guys out.
Yeah, asking a coach their record before the game in volleyball is fraught with disaster.
Yeah, it is, and it was during volleyball. It will be for girls basketball. Um, for me, it's been tough over the years finding wrestling stats and things like
Yeah.
that. A lot of the wrestling sites are pay-per-view, and so I don't. This isn't all settled yet where this whole thing goes from here, but. Welcome to the rest of America, because Dan and I both know in other states this is how it's been for a long time. We had it. We were spoiled brats, is what we were.
All right, you're about to get cut off.
All right. Well, then, they'll cut me off. All right. The producer's saying we got to go. Guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.